Hey, y'all there? Leslie, you leaving already? Hello. Amber, hello. All right, there you all are. Hello, hello. Hello, my son Belushi. Okay, for those who are new, um, I am streaming across Twitter/Periscope, um, YouTube, and Twitch. So we having 3 different parties, and so you might see, I can put some chats on like the screen for everybody to see, but you might not like see all of the chats. So if you're wondering, last time everybody was hitting me up afterwards, like, where were all these comments coming from? Okay, they were coming from different places, right? So this one is from YouTube. This is YouTube. So it looks like a lot of YouTubers. I did not get a nap. I was up very late last night, and I had to get up because I needed to do a talk just now. So I just finished a talk, and I'm going to hang out with you all for a while. And then after we hang out is when I'm going to go get a nap because I have another talk tonight too. Hello, Kavita. Hello, Jose. Welcome, everybody. All right, some Periscope, some Twitter in the building. Okay, very nice. All right, so welcome to my coding cooking show. I am going to go through several during the course of everything. I'll go through like these challenges or whatever, these recipes I want to give you. And today's recipe, let me talk about last month's. Hey, y'all. So last week's recipe, see, somebody just asked, was there a previous talk? Where was the previous talk? The previous talk was here. So you are asking me that from Periscope. All right. So probably hard for you to find on Periscope. But if you go to my website, angiejones.tech, my latest blog post is a link to last week's show. So we did a date picker, automating selection from a date picker. And I've written that as a blog post, and I also included the link to the YouTube video so you can watch that there. Okay. All right. So today's recipe, this comes by request. So I had a couple of requests last week that asked, can we go over reading from an Excel spreadsheet? So that's what we're going to do today. All right. So let me show you. I'm going to show you the website I want to automate against. Let me switch to that. This one. Okay. So here is the website. This is Para Bank, and it's by Parasoft. This is a nice little practice website. So if you ever want to like practice automation, you can do UI, you can do API testing on this website. So this is one of my favorite practice ones. So we're going to basically, let's think about a scenario. I'm going to log in, and then we're going to go to like one of this person's accounts. So it's like a banking thing. So this person, John, has like a bunch of accounts here. We're going to go to one of his accounts, and here is a transaction, a specific transaction. So I want to, let's see, I want to do like a find transactions and do that, and then verify like this, okay? And we're going to put the expected data inside of a spreadsheet, our test data, and then we're going to read from that spreadsheet within our code to be able to verify what's supposed to be here. Now, spreadsheets can be used for all sorts of things. This is one application that I'm doing, but you can utilize this for like anything, right? So I had a task where I needed to manually like put some data from an Excel sheet into like a JSON format so that I can load it to a website. And I used to do that by hand for like a couple of months until I realized like, this is ridiculous, girl. You are you are an automation whiz. Why would you do this by hand? So I automated that, and it was very rewarding. I like love to use it. I still have to use it all the time. So lots of different ways you can utilize these skills that we're going to go over today. All right. So the first thing I would like us to do is to take this data and put it into a spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and open up Excel, and we'll create our new worksheet here. Now, when creating the worksheet, I can put the data in. Let me see if I can be able to show both of these at once. Okay, I'm going to do something like this. All right. So I want to basically put the date. I probably need the transaction ID as well. So let's do that. And notice here, I'm going to put some column titles. That's very important, at least to me. Otherwise, you have random data in here, and when you're trying to read it out from the script, you can get confused or accidentally get the wrong thing. So the column headers are important here. So let's do the transaction ID, which I think I have saved here. Yes. And the description, I guess. Right, so let's see. And I'm gonna just copy this so I don't goof it up. And the date. And it doesn't matter like which order I put this in, because these column headers are gonna help me. Somebody, oh, y'all can't hear me? Oh, okay, hold on. Can anybody hear me? Okay, so Twitch can hear me. Anybody from Periscope can hear me? Okay, all right, cool. Okay, everybody hears me now. All right, great. Okay, that was scary because I didn't know how to fix that. All right, so we'll put the date in there. And look how it changed this. You got to be careful in Excel as well. Like, I don't want these changed to slashes, because when I verify this, I'm going to verify that as a string. So you can do little things like format the cells. And instead of date, I just want this to be text. Like, just put exact. And look at this. This is so goofy. I don't know why that changed to that, but this is what I want. And then the credit is 300.00, right? Okay. All right. Great. So we have our spreadsheet here. This might be like really small for you all to see. Let me try to zoom this a bit. All right. Okay, so everybody good? Clear? Everybody say yep. Great. Perfect. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and save this somewhere. I'm going to save it. Save as. Let's put it in my. That's my dog, Dexter. Dexter's telling you all hi. Lots of projects. All right, so this is my recipes one. So let's make a new folder here called resources. And I'm just gonna save this as maybe test data. All right, great. So that's done. That's the first ingredient we need is an actual spreadsheet, right? Okay, so let's go to the code now. And let's log out of here because we'll need to get these steps together. All right, so I'm going to go into IntelliJ. Again, today I am using Java. Let's create a new package here called maybe like files or something, spreadsheets. I don't know. We'll just say files. All right, and we'll do a new class and we'll say file test. All right, great. Okay, so we'll create, let's just start with, we're just going to go through the scenario. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is to log in here. Can y'all see this? I'll make it bigger. Dex, everybody say hi. Okay, so we're going to, let's go into here and get all of our good stuff. Put this at the bottom. And out of mobile. Okay, so let's see. We have a name called username. And this password is called password. And this button. No, there's a class here, but no ID or anything here. So let me see right quick. If I do login, so I did the class login and then button. Somebody asked me, I saw last week when I went back through the chat, somebody was asking me when I was getting these locators, it was like, why don't I just right click on here and do a copy XPath? Don't do that. That's a really bad idea. I highly discourage it because if I copy this XPath, it might be something like really goofy because Google has no idea that I want to take this XPath and put it in my code and expect it to work for eternity, right? They were only giving me the data I need for like right this minute. So usually this will include bad data like indexes, and it's very reliant upon the structure of the page, and the structure of our pages change because, you know, our applications change. So that's why I don't do that. All right, so, oh, this is an input with a class button. So let's see this. All right, great. So let's go ahead and I'm going to create those three elements. We're getting into some pages now. So let's do parabank.pages. And we'll create a new class here. Oops. New class here called, I'm just going to call this page. Let me tell you why. If I look at this and look when I log in. I wonder if I could get to something without logging in. Let's see. Yeah. So when I go to like other things on this site, this login thing is still here. So it's not like its own page. It's kind of a component in a page. But I'm going to just make like a generic page class. And then that generic page class will have like these common things that exist on every page. And that way, my other pages can like inherit from that and still have access. I think I'm gonna do like a whole course on just like advanced page object like architecture. Is that something y'all want? Put in the comments if y'all want that. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and make these things here. So let's make our buy login button. And this is a CSS selector. And then the other two were by name, right? So we'll say by username fields. And then password fields. I think that's right. Let's just double check. Yeah, username and password. Okay, great. All right, so we got what we need. We can just go ahead and code the login now. I need a constructor, right? So let's make a driver too. And again, this driver, this is Selenium, and this is what we utilize to interact with the browser. So if you call it, you got to give us the driver. See your comments, yes, advanced page object. Okay, I think I'm gonna work on that course next for Test Automation University. So it'll be free for you all. All right, so let's go ahead and make the login method. So we'll say login and give us the username and give us the password. And usually I would make 3 separate methods for this. One to set the field, one to set the name, password, one to set the, click the button. And I will put the 3 calls in this method. I'm like short on time. I don't want to spend like a lot of time on that. So I'm not going to do that today, but that's how I will usually use it. In fact, I might like clean this up before I release the code. So username field, we want to send the keys and we want to give it the username. And the reason I break it up is for reusability. So if I have some login tests that are doing like the bad thing, like they only want to do the username but not the password, or they just want to click the button but not set the other stuff. Like I could probably get away with it by just sending blank strings, but whatever. Like I just like to keep them individualized. And password field, yes, password, and then we're gonna click login button. All right. Now, usually if I'm like clicking something and we go to another page, I will return what's the new page. But since this is like on every page, I don't know like where they're going or whatever. So I'm just going to leave that void. And great. Okay, so we've logged in. And let's add this to our test. So let's say, and we need to extend our base test. For those who were not here last week, we do have this base test, which just launched. It does nothing but launches the browser and closes it after, so that I don't have to think about that in all of my tests. But in these individual ones, we'll have to actually launch the app. So let's do a launch app. And we'll say driver.get, which launches the app. We give it the URL. What's this home page? Okay, we grab this and put that in there. And let's see. Okay, maybe. I'll do that in the text. Okay. Oh, something else I wanted to do in here. I want to make different tabs as well, because you might have like multiple multiple users and stuff. Did I delete everything? Oh, here we go. All right. So let's make some more tabs. Let's call this one Amber, since Amber's here today. And this one will be John. That's our test user. So we'll put him in the middle. And I saw Mike today. So we'll have these three. And what I want you to do, I want to just show how we can, really make this complex and stuff. All right. So inside of the test, we're going to see, what are we testing? A transaction, right? Okay, so I want to say login. So I need that login page. Let's say page equals new page, right? And give it the driver. And then we're going to say page.login. All right, so let's go ahead and set our user and password. So the user is John, and the password is demo. So write that down in case you want to play with this site yourself. All right, and then we can say user password here. So we're logged in. All right, what's next? Now, once we log in, we want to go to this Find Transactions link. So this is something else that exists on every page. So I'm going to put that in that basic base page class. Let's see if we get some locators. Of course not, because that's how life is, right? Sorry, I was reading the comments. So somebody say, I don't think I've gotten this far. Are you taking my Java tutorial? I go over files a little bit, but not Excel ones. But yeah, stay. Okay, so everybody, I hope everybody learned something today. All right, so this one, none of these things have an identifier. So I'm going to use link text. Not my favorite locator, but we'll use it for the purpose of this. One thing to keep in mind though is that if your application is translated, this is in English, and so hard coding that in your code could lead to problems. So what I usually do is tie right into my developers. What's the file called when they put all the translated strings in there? The key, and I basically use that key so that if they change the name of this, or if it's in Spanish or French or Japanese or whatever, I'm pointing to the key, so I'll be able to have it. But for right now, we'll just hard code this. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the page. We'll make a generic method, I think. Click menu link. And then they can tell us what menu link they want. And then we can do a driver find by link text, yes. And then whatever they said. Yes. All right. And again, I don't know where this is going to take me because this is generic. So my test is going to have to figure that part out. So I'm going to say page dot click this, and we can give it that. All right. So we're logged in. We click on the find transactions. All right. So we don't know that data. That's what's inside of the spreadsheet. So we want to start reading this data out of the spreadsheet. Now to do this, we need a special library. So there is an Apache POI library. So let's go ahead and add this as a dependency. So I'm going to go to Maven and let's search for Apache POI. Yes. So notice it says it's a Java API to access the Microsoft format. So really cool. I'm just going to add this to our dependencies in the POM file. So boom. And there's two. There is the Apache POI and then like a OOXML or something like this. Yeah, this one. So it's two. Great. And fun thing, y'all get to see like who advertises to me. So this is Star East Conference. Shout out to Star East. Looks like they're having a virtual conference. And Trello, I get in makeup. Yes, Google knows me. All right. Somebody said, why not use the href attribute instead of text and avoid resources in case of different languages? That is a valid option. But that can change as well. Like if, the structure of your links and stuff changed, then this can change. Nothing is foolproof. IDs are like our best bet, and names, because those are less likely to change. Anything else can change on a whim, and it's just not as stable. But yeah, that's a fair point. But I don't think it gives me less trouble than having to link to the text, but I think it's more reliable because I don't, even if it changes, I'm linking to the key versus the link could change and then I'm like up a creek. All right, so let's go ahead and refresh our project and make sure that we get these dependencies. There they are, beautiful. Okay, so now we can start cooking. So I've clicked the menu link. Now I want to read like what's the trend. Oh wait, I want to read like, where am I? Where's my thing? Yeah, I need to be able to select the account and I need to put in the transaction ID and then I need to click this button. So the account information is not in my spreadsheet. And why do I keep losing my spreadsheet? Not fun. Okay, let's go back. All right. Oh, because I'm on the wrong tab. That's why. Y'all didn't even tell me. Okay, so this is why these columns are so important, because if I would have like started automating this and I was relying on this being like A2 cell or whatever, and I don't have the account information here, so I want to put another column in here, and I can safely do that because I have these headers which I'm going to rely on. So now I can add account ID, and I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll save that. Okay. All right. So let's go back to our code and let's open that guy up. And I think I'm going to put this in like a util type of thing, util class, because I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel for every test that utilizes spreadsheets. So let's call this one Sheet util or something. All right. Okay. And too many E's. Mhm. All right. Nice. Okay. So in this, hold on. In this thing, let's see what we want to do. We know we need a driver. No, we don't need a driver because we're not going to work with the browser at all, right? So we're just going to work with the spreadsheet. So I need to be able to go ahead and open that spreadsheet. And then I also want to go to the tab that I want to go to, the right tab, right? So let's just say, first of all, let's create a constructor. And this will take a file. So what's the file, right? That seems important, like an important first step. And we'll create a field for this. So we'll just call this spreadsheet. This is a hard word for me to type. All right. So inside of here, they give us a file, and then we'll assign that to the spreadsheet that we have. And then I want to, let's make one for the column. So I want to be able to get the columns. I also need to get the current sheet. I got a lot of things I need to do. So let me just get my thoughts together. So I want to create the current sheet. Current sheet. And I want the columns. So the columns, I think I want to know, let me look at this sheet again. Here, I want to basically say like, account ID is the first cell. So everything in this column will be associated. These are account IDs, transaction ID, blah, blah, blah. So I want to have maybe a map. Look at us getting into data structures. People argue me sometimes like, oh, you don't need to know data structures for automation. I'm like, what? I use data structures all the time. Maps, lists, and stuff. You know, when you're doing like framework or architecture or utilities and stuff, this kind of stuff is important. All right, so anyway, I'm going to make a map, and we're going to make the key the name of the column, and then the value is going to be which it's index basically. So let's say this is a map, and we say string, and we say integer, and then we'll just call this columns. Okay. And then in the constructor, we'll just initialize the columns to nothing, just an empty map. And hash map. Okay, great. All right. And then we want to switch to the sheets, right? So we had the 3 sheets here. We have Amber, we have John, and we have Mike. So we want to switch to John or whatever it is. In this case, in this utility method, we want to make it generic so that any test can switch where they want to. So let's just make a method here called switch to sheet, and give us the name of the sheet. And then let's see, there is this like workbook. Yeah, workbook factory dot create. And then you give it the file, right? And then let's see. So this is saying this throws an exception. Okay. So we need to put this in a try catch block. This is something a lot of people don't use. Let me show you. So I can actually instantiate, like let's call this workbooks. I can instantiate the resource that I'm going to use inside of this try thing. So usually try would be like this, try, and then blue, 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 we'll do our instantiation right there. But with this, if you have something that's like, you're going to need to close. So this is a file, meaning we're going to have to like open a stream. We're going to have to close a stream. When you initialize it inside of here, then you need to not only implement a catch block, but you also need to implement a finally block so that after if an exception is thrown and you handle it, you also close that stream after the exception is handled. But this try with resources, I think, is an underutilized feature in Java where I can declare the resource inside of the parentheses for the try. Then I don't need a finally block. Java will automatically close this resource for me, so I don't have to think about it. I think that's pretty nice. All right, so we'll catch the exception. And then, I don't know, just print this out. Okay, so great. So we've got all the workbooks. So this is like all three, Amber, John, and Mike. And then we want to get the current worksheet that they want us to get. So they passed in that name. So we're going to say current sheet equals workbooks dot, and let's see, there's a get sheet here. So we can give it the name of the sheet we want. All right, let me pause and see if you all have any questions. All right, so which is the best practice to use external test data? CSV, Excel, or any database? I don't think there's a best practice. Like, use whatever works for you. Like, I usually will use data that's in the database, or I create my data on the fly. And usually I'm putting that inside of my Java files itself. Like I'm just like kind of putting the data there. Whatever is useful for your team. I don't have like a best practice on that. Just do what works. Okay. Angie, would it not be time consuming while reading data from Spreadsheet if the test data is huge? Yeah, so I wouldn't utilize this spreadsheet as like trying to like mimic a database. It would probably be much easier if you put this inside of like some test database or something, and you can do like quick queries to get the information out, or better yet, like put the data in the file that you needed. So this is one example that I'm showing, like you can utilize spreadsheets for your test data, but that don't take that to mean like I'm recommending that you use spreadsheets for your test data. That's not the purpose of this. Like I was saying, you can use spreadsheets for anything. Like maybe you just need to organize something and put it in a different format, like I did with the JSON files, or you need to get something out of there, like whatever. I've used this another time when I needed to store like all of these users in like their information and stuff, but it wasn't a bunch, it was like maybe 500 rows or something, nothing too terrible. All right. We need to open the spreadsheet, read the file, and click on the tab. Yep. Okay, I see some +1, some kudos. I didn't know this kind of try exists. Yeah, I like the try with resources. Give it a look. The Philo Java library can be used to query the spreadsheet like we use QueryDB. Oh, that's nice. I've not heard of that library. Okay, so I'm going to, somebody who is friends with me, write this down and send me a DM so I remember after the fact. I want to try that library out. Okay, cool. Very nice. Thank you, Arun. Okay, back to the grind. Okay, so we have the current sheet, right? Um, and I want to populate this map of columns based on what's in that sheet, right? So if you look at this again, I want to get each of these things. So this is the first row, which is a safe assumption for a header, right? So I want to say, okay, current sheet, there's a get row, I believe. Yes, get row, and you give it the index. So 0, it starts at 0. That would be the first row, which is the header, right? And there's this cell iterator you can use. I hate iterators personally. I much prefer like the string methods. Let's see if there's a for each. Perfect. So I can do for each. Okay, so this is going to give me every cell in this row. So it's going to go boop, 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 oops, no, boop, and boop. All right, so for each, and let's just call that cell. So for each cell, okay, for each cell, I want to put the cell inside of our map. So I'm going to say columns dot put, and we need to get the value. Now, getting things from the spreadsheet, this part is a little bit tricky because you need to know like the data type. Now, all of these are strings, so I know what to call, but you have to call, like you can't just say, give me the data out the cell. You have to call the appropriate method. For example, this is a number, so we would have to call like an integer number. Get the integer or numeric or something like that. That is annoying. I don't really like that, but we'll try to add some code to be sophisticated. But for this one, I think it's safe to assume that all of the headers will be strings. So I'm going to say get the string value. That's going to be our key. And then I want to get the index. So let's see if there's a get index. Yeah, there's get column index. So that'll be our value. Okay. And I think that's it for switching to the sheet and getting the columns. All right. Okay. So inside of our test, we're going to say, so we set this, we didn't set the file name, so let's go ahead and do that. So we'll say file name equals, and it is right here under resources. So we'll say resources / test space data dot xlsx. All right. Okay, so we got our file. We log in, we go to the link, and now let's go ahead and make the spreadsheet in here. Spreadsheet equals new, and we'll call our utility method. Yep, and give it our file, new file, giving it that file name. Beautiful. All right, and we want to switch to the sheet, right? So spreadsheet dot switch to sheet, and the name was John, so our user. Beautiful again. All right, let's just see that much in action to make sure like our columns are getting populated and stuff. So I'm gonna let's put a breakpoint about, I don't know, here. All right, so let's run this. Hey. Oh, I ran the whole thing. Let me I don't have to even debug it. I can print it out. Let's do a print. So columns. All right. All right, let me see what y'all saying on the chat. Angie and Rowan, could you suggest an idea to download an object larger or smaller than a fixed size from a web page? Okay. I don't know, that's unrelated to this. I can talk to you after. Will you post it to your GitHub? Of course. Big advocate of posting stuff to my GitHub. All right. All right, let's see what this gave us. This is don't worry about this. This is something goofy going on with Chrome. But, oh yes. So look, this is our map. So this is our thing. Oh, and look, this is not necessarily in order, but let's make sure that they put it in the right order. So account ID is first, and then transaction is 1, yes. Description is 2, date is 3, and credit is 4. Perfection. All right, beautiful. So we are cooking with grease. Very nice. Okay, so we got to the page where we need to enter the search criteria. So let's grab this. Great, have an ID here. Woohoo! So this is a select. Let's go and put this in our, this is a new page. So I need a new page here. So under here, let's make, what was this page called? Find transactions page. All right. So let's quickly make that. Find transactions page. And we'll extend that page. We need a constructor. It's a WebDriver. And since I am inheriting from page, I can just call into their constructor. Very nice. And then I need some buys, right? So private by account drop down. And this is by ID. And what is that called again? Account ID. Very nice. Kudos to that dev. All right. So let's say select account ID. And we'll say, give us the ID. I'm going to use this as a string, not a number, because Selenium methods accept them as strings. But once we have that, we're going to say, I'm going to use this select. So select is a web element, but it doesn't fall under like web element. It's its own object. For whatever reason, I think because it has like different methods than typical web elements like click or send keys. It has different stuff, so it's its own class. But we can just initialize it like this, and you give it the element that represents that select, which is account dropdown. I'm getting a red on this driver. Probably I made this private. Let's make this protected so that any of my page classes that inherit from them have access. Okay, so I have the drop down, and now I want to say drop down dot select by visible text. All right, and that will be the ID. Okay. Very nice. And let's put that in our test. So now we're going to see, account find transactions page equals new blah blah. Yes, give it the driver. And then we can call select. And now I need to get it out the file, right? So, all right, how do we do this? I want to create a method in here that says get the cell data. So we'll make this a string. For the return type, get cell data. And you're going to need to tell us the column, right? And we can get that from the map. And then the row to get it from. So we'll make that an integer. All right, so we can say current sheet dot get row. We know the row. So we'll just save this as a row. Data row. Okay, and remember when I said that the data, so I'm here now. So this is going to be like an integer. This is going to be an integer. This is string. This is going to be a string because we changed it. And then I think this might be a string because of the character. Oh, this is a currency, right? Yeah, let's change it to string. Excel is so presumptuous, you know, like don't change my data. All right, but what I want to do is I want to get anything as a string. I don't care that it's like a number or something like that. So I want to make like this other method to do this nasty work that we need to do from using this this library. This is my least favorite thing about the library. So I'm going to say get cell data as string, and I'm making it private. I don't want my test to have to worry about it, but inside of our utility class, we can call it. So I'm going to say, give me the cell. Yes. Give me the cell. If you give me the cell, I need to figure out like what the cell type is and then call the right method for it. So I'm going to use a switch because Java recently introduced new switch expressions, different than switch statements, and I want to play with them and show them to you. So I'm going to say return, and we can use switch as like an expression as opposed to like a flow. So I can say switch cell dot, and I want to get the type. Notice here this get cell type. So this will tell us like if it's a string or if it's like a number or something. And then in this switch, you basically you're assigning something as opposed to taking a bunch of actions, right? So this would be the same. Instead of me doing the var return, I'm going to do like a var here. So let's see, string data equals, and I can like assign it, right? Okay, so inside of here is when I start putting the cases. So I say case, and first thing is a string. So if it's already a string, bet we can just do cell dot get the string cell value. And you use this arrow now as opposed to like an equal. So this is saying, okay, if this cell type is a string, then go ahead and assign this to data. All right. And then you put a little semicolon and you keep going. The only cases we have are, we don't have any Boolean, but you know, I could implement all of these. I'm just going to do two, the string and numeric, because that's all we really have. So this time, I need to call cell dot get, there's a numeric line. Let me see, get numeric cell value. But I need to change this to a string. So I'm going to say string dot value of, and then pass in this value. All right, and then I don't want to do any more, so I'm just going to say default, just do blank, and voila. So now data is whatever this is, and instead of storing it as a variable, I'm just going to do a return statement here. Okay, all right, and then let's call this here. So we can say return get cell data as string, and we give it the row dot get cell. And which cell? We don't know which one, but they did give us the column name. So that's why I mapped this stuff. So it could be any of the columns. I don't care if the spreadsheets get swapped around or whatever, as long as I know where stuff is. I can say columns.get, and let's say you passed in like description or something. I can say give me the index for that, which you've passed in right here. Okay. Let me take a break for questions. No questions. Interesting. Okay. Now that I have a break, does anybody have any questions about what we just did? No? Okay. All right, let's keep it moving then. So in my test, I want to go ahead and call that. So in my test, I can say select account ID. Wait, I opened the thing, I switched. Oh, okay. This is on the web. So select account ID, and then I need to give it with the account ID, right? All right. So let's make some variables here. I need to, I think this thing also takes a row, right? Yeah. So I need to know the row. So I already know everything is going to be on row 1. So let's just declare that. And let's get the account ID. So this will equal spreadsheet dot, and now we can say, yep, give us our cell data. Account ID is the name of the column I care about in row 1. And then once I have that string, I can just say, pass that to Selenium and say, select that. Boom. Okay, so this is me reading data from the spreadsheet and then using Selenium to use that data. All right, so okay, I select that. The next thing I want to do on this web page is to fill this form out. So let's do do we have that? I think I need to write that one. Yeah. All right, so let's go back here. And this time we are doing, what are we doing? Like a enter, let's just make a search method. Public, and I think this goes to another page. Let's see. So when we click this, I got logged out. All right, so find transactions, and boom. Yeah, go to this transactions results page. All right, so we're gonna have to make another page. Transaction results page. And we'll call this one search by transaction ID. And you need to give us the account ID and give us the transaction ID. And then I'm going to say, okay, first thing is to select that account. And then we want to find We want to call it ID field. We still need to get that. Send the keys. Yes. And then click the button. We still need to get that. We'll call this ID button or something. Click. And then return new this guy. So a bunch of stuff we need to make. Okay. All right. So ID field and ID button. Something, I don't know. And then I don't know. Let's go see what it is. ID field. So go back. Oh, it's got a nice ID again. Very nice. All right, by ID. And the button. Our luck is up. No, no ID here. I see this criteria search type on this Angie clicky thing. Let's see if we can use that. So if I did find me a button with Angie click equals to this. Hi, Thomas from Germany. Let's see. Oh, this is okay. So button. Oh, too many C's. There we go. All right. So this is a CSS selector. And voila. All right. And now we just need to make this guy. So let's quickly make this. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So now I don't even have to call this thing anymore because that'll do it for me. So I'll just see. Search by transaction, give it the account ID, and I also need the transaction ID, right? So let's get that from our spreadsheet. Get sale data, and our column this time is transaction ID, and same row. All right, and then transaction ID. Boom, and we can store this into transaction page. All right, cool. All right, let's take a break for questions. Hello, Thomas. Maybe XPath. Which version of SDK supports the switch which you use? All right, so the switch was introduced as an experimental feature in Java 12. So 12 or later you can utilize it, but you'll need to like enable the preview flag. So it's basically like you can play around with it and preview it, and people were giving feedback. I think in Java 14, which was released in March, I think it became a permanent feature in 14, and I'm using Java 14 right now. All right, good question. Okay. So we're rolling, we're rocking and rolling. We've done all our actions. Now it's just time to verify. So we go here now. Boom, this is the stuff from our spreadsheet. So we're going to just read this stuff out and verify it against what's here on the page. All right. So let's see how we can get this data. So none of these things have IDs because it's horrible. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna get all of these cells. Maybe I can do with this table. Okay, the table has an ID. So what if I said, find me this table. I don't want the headers, but I want TRTB. That gives me 4. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect. All right, so let's get this. And we're going to just get all of the things and look through them. I hate dealing with tables. I might do another recipe with tables. They're not fun. All right, so on here, on this transactions page, results page, we're going to make let's just make the stop. I'm gonna do private by what is this? The sales. I hate to call it sale. Table sales equals by CSS. Okay. And we're gonna say public, I don't know what the return is yet. Let's see, transaction results. But I want to say find all the elements. I know that. That'll give me a list. Find all of those table cells, right? And let's turn this into a stream because this is going to give me web elements. And what I really want to do is get the text inside of it. So if I can stream this, I'm going to map it to, yeah, look at all this niceness. So I can say get the text, right? So get the text from all of those cells and then wrap those bad boys inside of a list. 2 lists, yeah. All right. So this gives me a list of strings, the text. So let's return it. We can say a list of string and return. Just import this. Boom. Isn't that beautiful? And look at IntelliJ say like, okay, this is going to be web. And I love this. I hadn't seen this. I just updated my IntelliJ last night. So I don't know if it been had this, but I never noticed it. But it's telling me the data type for each part of this call, which is great because things get really confusing here. So yeah, I got strings now. Beautiful list of strings. Okay, so given this, I can then maybe get that list and then I can compare what's in the spreadsheet. So let's say, let's call this results. Transactions page dot get transaction results. So list of strings, and now I can start doing assertions. We're almost done. Hang in there. All right, that's more to me than to you. But, all right, spreadsheet dot get the cell data. So we want to get the date, right? Okay, so let's see, date. That gets it from our spreadsheet, the value of the date, and this is You got to give it the rule, right? So we're still on rule 1. And I want to compare that with the results dot get 0. So the results again is boom, 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 boom. Now I'm relying on position here, which I hate, but for the sake of time and simplicity, I'm going to do this. But usually I would try to get like the headers of that, much like I did with the spreadsheet. I guess that's a table too. So same kind of concept. So you know what I would have done. Don't think I'm raggedy. All right. All right. So we're going to assert that, and we can just do this for all of them, right? I can do the transaction, but transaction, we call that description. So let's see, description, and that will be the second one. The description from the spreadsheet and compare that to the second column on the web. And then debit, I don't care about that, but credit 300, and we have credit here of 300. So let's do that. Credit, and then this will be 2, 3, because we skipped one, right? We could make sure that other one was blank. I'm not gonna worry about it since we're talking about sorry, I'm reading the comments. All right. If we don't have a good CSS ID like Angie should, we should talk to their front-end guys to add a good CSS ID name. In theory, yes. People don't usually do that. Like, they're working on features, they're not going back adding IDs. In my experience, they've not. Usually I'll go in the code and add it myself, or I'll just use a CSS or XPath. Can we use SDK, not LTS, in our project? So yeah, you can use anything you want. The LTS will be supported for 3 years. The SDK one, so Java's releasing new versions every 6 months. So I'm an explorer. I like to just get whatever's the latest one because I want to see the new features and play with them. So I'm always on just the SDK ones. But if I'm working on like a production project, I would probably go with the LTS. And for those who are wondering, this is like the Java version. So the LTS is, I think, stands for like long-term support or something like that. So Java 11 is the long-term support version right now, which will be supported for the next 3 years. It was released last year, so 3 years. Is it bad practice to use? Same question. All right. All right, great. Are we done? Let's see. I think we're done. Let's run it. Let's see. I'm not convinced it's going to work, but let's see. We might surprise ourselves. Let's see how far we get. All right, broke right away. It looks like it broke on. And let me stop this from closing until we know we're working. That way I can see the browser state. But let's see what's going on. It says no such element cannot locate an option with 12345.0. So this looks like something with that numeric stuff that's goofy. I hate this part about using this library. All right, so it says select the visible text with the ID. Where did this ID come from? we said give this account ID, which we got from this get cell data, which it got from here. So it must have went in numeric. Now, for whatever reason, this library will, I know what reason. So this get numeric cell value returns a double, because the numeric could be a thing, an integer, or it could be a float. So it went with the higher case because double will handle integers too. The problem with that is that it adds a decimal to it where we don't want a decimal added to it. So we need to basically say, get us the int value of this. So I can just typecast that. If I typecast that, that will truncate that decimal number. Now, I only can do this if I'm sure nothing in there is a decimal number, which is not really the case because we do have like this decimal number, but I want to treat this as a string and not an integer. Remember, we changed this type, so I think we're okay. You would have to be careful there. All right, let's run again. Okay. All right, we got a little further. So at least we fixed that decimal part. And then this broke again. Let's see what's wrong now. Okay, index out of bounds. Where? Here. Results. Did the results not come back? Okay, interesting. Let's debug. How do y'all feel when y'all get like run into issues like this? Is it like an exciting murder mystery, or are you like frustrated? Hit me in the comments. Tell me what you feel. Oh, current sheet is null. That's not good. All right, so something is way off. All right, let's see where we messed up at. Okay, I was excited like murder mystery, but now I'm not excited because that's whack. Current sheet. Did we ever set this? We must, yeah, we set it right here. Okay, so we said create this. And this is a thing, yes. Let's see, is this a file? Let's make sure we got the location right. So let's print out if this file exists or not. So let's see, print out. File exists. File that exists. Let's see. Let's stop this and let's run it again. %, excitement, 50% frustration. All right, let's see what we got there. Right, that's how I feel, like a little bit excited. Okay, it exists. It knows the file is there, so that's not the problem. All right. So I forgot, like, what happened again? Some stuff was null, right? This was. So let's debug again. I'm sorry, I forgot what the problem was. It's exciting unless it's deployment day and you're getting pressure to have the test pass. I feel panicked. Okay. All right. So we know that this much is okay, I think. And then current sheet is null, right? Because we haven't gotten there yet. So let's see if we, is it an exception? Oh, it's still opening. Okay. So, all right. And then what happens here? Oh, okay. So it does get in. Look at this. So now we're seeing the internals of things. So it looks like each of those is an XML file. It says sheet 2, which I imagine means like 1, 2 or something. I'm guessing here, by the way. All right, so we say, oh, is this right? Yeah, get the row 0. Yes. So current sheet, get row columns. Columns got populated. Look at that. So we have all the columns, and we already knew that, right? All right. And then great. So we don't have an exception. And then it says, where are we now? We're done with that. Okay, so first row. And then it says get account ID. That works. Here's account ID. Get the transaction ID. That works. We know this is fine. Okay, let's go inside of here. So, yeah, we're going to select that. That works, I guess. Let's see. So many windows. Yes, okay. And then send the transaction ID. Did that work? Yes. Okay. And then did it click? It clicked. Boom. And then great. Okay, this is where it started getting goofy, right? If I remember correctly, this is what was null. And then it said that these were out of bounds. Okay. Now it's not null, it's 4. Okay, so since this has populated this time, it tells me that there was a timing issue because this went from a button click to a new page, and then all of a sudden this was 0. So what that's telling me is that I need to wait for this page to load. So inside of this constructor, when we call this transactions results page, let's go ahead and put a little wait here that says wait until that table is there. All right. All right. So let's say now this is a good teaching moment. If you are someone who would have been like, oh, let me put a thread.sleep for 3 seconds. I'm talking to you. Don't do that because we don't know how long this thing takes to load. So I just want to wait the exact amount of time I need to. And when it's ready, we can go. So I don't want to wait longer or shorter. So let's just say WebDriver wait. And we give it the driver and we give it how long we want to wait until. So let's give it, I don't know, about 3 seconds. But if it takes like half a second, oh, that's played out. This is how I was saying, it was scratched out. I'm using the newest alpha version of Selenium, which is Selenium 4. And instead of putting that, you have to use this duration thing. So up until 3 seconds. And then I'm going to wait until we use expected condition and conditions. Yeah. So then you have all of these conditions you can wait for, which is nice. So I basically want to wait until that table is present. So I think there's something called presence. Yeah, presence of element located. And then you give it a by. So I'm just going to say this is the by. I can wait for the whole thing, really. Let's just say table cells. That's safe. I think so. All right, let's get out of this and let's try to run again and see. All right, that wasn't so painful, right? Unless that still doesn't work, then I might like cry or something. Okay. Aha! Yeah, that's exciting. All right, let's in our test pass 2, honey. Yes. Okay, let's go over here. I want to see this. I need to see this because I just need to make sure. I'm sorry, y'all, but sometimes code lies to you. And I just want to make sure that it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. All right. I don't need this breakpoint anymore. So continue. All right. So we said we want to compare these two things. So let me just do this. I don't know if you know you could do this. Like when you're in debug mode, you could do like this evaluate expression. And so you can see like what things are that's like, you know, part of a bigger statement. So yeah, you see that? So it's saying this is the result. So I know that that came from the spreadsheet. All right. And then results, I can just see this right here, actually. Yeah, so these are the results from the website. And then those columns are in another table. But yeah, that was fair. I trust it now. I'm going to do one more just so I feel good. Yep. All right. So it wasn't lying to me. It really does work. So there you have it. We've read from a spreadsheet and utilized it within our test. Like I said, you can use this for anything. I use this even outside of testing, just like mundane things that I have to do or data entry or, you know, stuff like that. You might find ways like, okay, if people give me the data in a spreadsheet, I can automate and get it out of there or whatever. All right. Okay. Somebody has some comments. Let's see. Green tick. Nice. Yes, I love a green tick. Yay. I do have a problem with await in a practice page. I couldn't find any object or web element that was not present or in the middle of loading. I had to use a sleep for 200 milliseconds. I hope to fix it soon. You knew I was going to fuss at you. That's why you put that last sentence. But yes, hit me up if you want my help. Like I like to do that kind of thing, and we can jump on like a Zoom call or something for a few minutes, and I can try to help you find like a reliable condition. All right. Okay. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So that's the thing. I'll write up this as a blog post. I don't know if I'll do it today because I have another talk to do today and I desperately need a nap. So let me get back on the camera. Hold on. All right, look at me. Hair a mess, everything. That worked me out. All right. So yeah, I'll write this up. And let me put my little graphics. I got to get my professional act together. Let's see. So thank you, Apple Tools, for sponsoring. And you can follow me on Twitter at TechGirl1908. I'm fun on there a little bit. But yeah, okay, so that's how you utilize the spreadsheet. I'll write this up. The video is recorded, so it'll be on YouTube. Hopefully on Twitch. Last time Twitch didn't save it. Hopefully this time I changed some settings, so hopefully that's saved, and also on Periscope. All right. Okay. Are there any more questions before we say bye-bye? Okay, let's see what we got. Which library do you use if you connect to a database? I don't remember it offhand. One of the common like Java JDBC ones. Y'all want a recipe on some database stuff? I love database stuff. Let me know if you want a recipe on that. We could do a show on that. Thank you. You are the best. Thank you. Get that nap you deserve. I really do. I really deserve a nap. Kobe line. It does. Thank you, Angie. Yes, we want a database one. Okay. So I'll figure out the recipe. I heard database. What else? Somebody else asked for some other recipe too. So I'll note those down as ideas. Hey, Penny. How are you? Thanks, Angie. Your live coding sessions are the GOAT. I know. Trisha, what recipe will you be doing next week? I have no idea. Like, I don't know. I didn't know this one until last night. I was like, I guess I'll do a spreadsheet because I think it was you, Trisha, who asked for spreadsheets. Somebody, there's a couple of people that I saw in the comments were asking for spreadsheets. So I did that one. I don't know about next week. Have a couple of ideas. So we heard database. Somebody said something else. I'll have to read through the chats to figure out. And I got a couple of other ideas too. Oh, tables was something we said. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will catch you next week, same time. Can you show API? Oh yeah, let's do some API. I love API stuff too. I love everything with coding, really. Okay, so I'll add that to the list. We'll do some API stuff too. All right. All right. Bye. Catch y'all next week. Okay. Have a good one.